Alright guys, we just got finished opening up the Face Collide booster box. If you guys want to see the booster box opening, check out Pro Play Games YouTube channel. The whole thing is on that channel. So this is like a spoiler alert, so if you guys don't want to see what's in the box, stop the video right now and just go to Pro Play Games YouTube channel, right? So we're gonna go through what we pulled, what we think might be impactful, some like fun small combos. I think it's kind of like a quick part of the video.
Yeah, interesting cards.
Yeah. So the first and one of the most hyped cards in the set is we got Alakazam EX, the gold one, very nice artwork. And the ability is when you Mega Evolve this Mega Alakazam, you put, I believe, 2 damage counters on the active and 3 on one of the bench Pokemon. So, you know, that's nice. And then the attack here is 1 Sidekick, 1 colorless, put 3 damage counter on all your opponent's Pokemon that have energy on it. So, you know, that's pretty cool too, but they need to have energy on it. So, yeah. Very hyped card. A lot of people talk about this. The worst part of this card, in my opinion, I think Franco agrees, is weak to Sidekick, meaning it's weak to one Pokemon specifically, which is
Night March?
Yeah, Pumpkin was gonna knock the crap out of the Pokemon all day. So, you know, it's 2 prize, 160 HP, not exactly super high for EX Pokemon either. Yeah, so what do you feel like? You want to combine it with Bats maybe, or like just super scoop ups, the evolution? What do you feel?
Yeah, usually the stereo type or the Bat seems fine. Wobbuffet is also a good secondary
Seems kind of clumpy with the Bats though, right? Seems kind of clumpy with the Bats though.
Yeah,
right?
that's the only issue with it.
Probably like a 3-3-3 line that had to put this line in it, so that's kind of
Or you can actually even like trying to focus on like running a thick line of Mega Alakazam and trying to spam damage with Diva Evolution, because you know they do also work like Bats. You know, they place damage counter every time they evolve too, so you can work with that too.
Yeah, so very pretty card, has potential for sure, you know, but as of now we don't know. I mean, 1 prize, 60 HP, Night March could knock this out no problem. Yeah. Alright, next we have Energy Pouch. So let me read this. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage by an opponent's attack, put all basic energy attached to that Pokemon in your hand. So mainly we think about Arceus Blastoise, have a huge Keldeo knocked out, get all the energy back, stack on another Keldeo or whatever you want to attack with, and yeah, so that's pretty much what we think of right away with this card. I mean, I can't think of any other deck that
so
would
far,
anything
that has
but
energy extra.
Not a bad card though, definitely not a bad card.
No, it's all good.
Next we have Zygarde G Booster Pad Memory. It's a tool card, 2 fighting energy, and a cardless that's 200 damage. You just card 3 energy cards. Now the main thing Franco pointed out with this card is, unlike G Booster, it can't go through like effects. It can't go through Safeguard. It can't go through Power Roars. Like G Booster, like 200 no matter what. This one, you know, is 200 and just still, you know.
Also another thing is, since this is a tool, I believe.
Yeah, it's a tool card.
It's a tool card. So Zygarde needs to have this attached as a tool, you know, and it needs to burn 3 energies, which means once you use the attack, most likely you won't have energy left. So you're forced to hit either a card such as like Escape Rope, AZ, or Switch, so you can attack with probably Carbink, Break or something.
Try to get Elixir back on the Zygarde.
So it's like another factor you need to consider.
I mean, I think it's a very cool card, but I feel like fighting Pokemon has such support already, like Fighting Stadium, Strong Energy, that you don't really need this. You could I feel like a Muscle Band, Strong Energy, Fighting Stadium is like already a lot of damage, you know what I mean? And you don't have to waste the tool card attachment to this.
But definitely, I will say, if you're playing Zygarde, definitely I will put at least one in the deck.
At least one, or maybe even 2, you know?
Yeah, it's actually a nice option to have
for sure. I mean, 200 is 200, you know? And 200 with a Strong Energy in the stadium could hit, you know, Mega Pokemon, you know?
The only thing I was aware is Bespin is also in the format currently, and Zygarde is weak to Grass. So if you attach the memory, that means you're getting asked to get 1 shot most likely from Bespin. So that's another thing that we need to consider.
Yeah, 200 against Bespin is not too good, you know? Alright, next we have Mew. So right away people think Night March.
Night March, instantly,
the problem Franco pointed out is it takes up a slot in the deck, a crucial slot in the deck that's already pretty tight depending what you're running, like Gallade or whatever you're going to run. And you can only use, I believe, basic, right?
Yes, basic Pokemon.
Yeah, basic Pokemon only on your side of the field.
On your side.
So you can't take like Hammerhead or something. You gotta use your Night March.
And also another thing is you in order to attack with one basic energy to do Night March, you need to have Joltik in your bench, or else you won't be able to use Night March.
Yeah, and on top of that, you might have to if you put this in, you probably want to put basic energy in too, which is more slots. You know, more slots you're taking up. Also, if you had this in the active spot and they hex you, this is probably gonna die.
Yeah, Silent Lab and Hexmania, well timed, and even Shadow Stitching from Greninja can be painful.
I mean, it's not an EX, so that's good. Don't give it
that's
too
what I'd
much.
say.
But it is 50 HP, which will get quick and punch, muscle band, knockout. You know, one thing is awesome with the card is free retreat, which is like you could bring it up and take it out. So the free retreat is definitely a cool thing to have.
I'll definitely say it is actually an interesting card, and it's really
It's
cool.
Definitely giving Night March nothing in the arsenal.
Yeah, maybe even like it could be a useful ways in decks outside of Night March too. So I'll look forward into it.
All right, next we have Rain Receiver. This is a reprint. The first print actually had Professor Juniper, which has the same effect as Sycamore. So it's really cool. The new artwork has Sycamore on it. So what it does is reveal cards on top of your deck until you get a supporter card and put that one in your hand. And it's an item card, not a supporter card. So whatever supporter you get off of that, you can use. Franco mentioned this is not as good as it used to be, right? Why is that, Franco?
Well, because back in the days, when the card came out, most decks ran cards such as Professor Juniper, Oak's New Theory. Mainly the supporter cards that were in the deck were mainly draw cards. Well, back then we didn't have a Lysander or anything. It was mainly Chorus, Oak, Juniper, and so your odds of hitting into a draw card was pretty higher. But now we have
Lysander, Giovanni Scheme.
Different type of supporters. So
0-6.
Yeah, you don't want to hit those like when you need a draw.
Yeah. So still a good card though. It's still
I mean you can design the deck to make it work.
Yeah. Or like let's say you play this card and you're such big control, why not get a supporter that might help like as a road stick or something,
Or just play 4 Junipers.
Yeah. Alright, next Carbink. So the main thing we're talking about this Pokemon is the basic 90 HP. Safeguard, pretty much a replica of Sigilus.
Suicune.
Suicune.
Nice to have.
Yeah, weak to grass, so Queen will still hit it for weakness. 40 damage for the attack, but fighting Pokemon gets such support,
Like tree is nice.
Yeah. So you can have Muscle Band and a strong energy. This attack does 80 damage already, And if you have like a stadium, the fighting stadium out, 100 damage. So any fighting Pokemon that comes out always has potential because of the support they have. And especially Karina is absolutely crazy for.
Yeah, so you can search from Karina. That's a big thing.
Next, Glaceon EX. Awesome artwork. I love the artwork.
Same.
Yeah. I love the Pokemon itself actually too. So the first attack, second bite, 1 water, 1 colorless. The 20 plus. This attack does 10 more damage for each damage card on the active Pokemon.
It's actually a strong attack.
Yeah, pretty good. Next we have Crystal Ray. So it does 70 damage, and if the opposing Pokemon is it cannot be attacked by evolution Pokemon.
Pokemon,
so it's pretty much the opposite of Jolteon EX. Probably won't have the same price as Jolteon EX, because that's such an expensive card. 10 more HP in Jolteon EX, and very interesting card. I think it's pretty playable.
Now, for those who doesn't know, since it says Evolve card, yes, it does block. I'm pretty sure it blocks Break Evolution and Mega Evolution as well, because they are evolved as well.
So definitely a playable card.
Yeah.
There's not much water decks in like standard. It's like Mega Manectric could probably pop a water energy onto it maybe or something like that.
But it's nice because the energy requirement is 1 water and 1 DCE. So that means you can play cards like Max Elixir and hopefully you hit like a water and then you can attach a DCE right away.
Either or if your deck runs like lightning, fire, all that stuff, you probably want Smeargle anyways to try to pop these off.
There's several ways.
It's playable, very situational. It's not free retreat like Jolteon though, which is very nice about Jolteon, free retreat. But definitely a playable card, definitely a good card.
It has a potential.
Not a lot of water decks. I'm just thinking like Mega Manectric right now ish.
Yeah, you could play with Manectric too.
Like Manectric Regice, which is still, in my opinion, not that bad of a deck either.
Yeah.
Alright, there's a reprint. Strong Energy. We spent the video so far talking about Strong Energy, how good Strong Energy is.
Good as always.
This is probably the best special energy for certain types, like Flash Energy.
I would definitely say it's one of the best.
Yeah,
it's a very strong card since they do stack.
Yeah, putting 20 extra damage on top of putting like muscle bands on, and this a really good card. reprinted. It wasn't that expensive to begin with, but it's reprinted, and we'll see play. Fighting Pokemon, we'll see play now. A lot more play, at least initially, off the set.
What I think what makes fighting Pokemon really strong, in my opinion, is definitely the combination of Karina to be able to search, the strong energy for the damage output increase, and the focus sash to prevent from getting one-shotted. Those 3 cards makes it absolutely
especially if your fighting deck runs like Shaman. So a lot of times people don't like Karina because of the draw, but if you get a fighting Pokemon, get an Ultra Ball, drop 2 cards, get Shaman, and draw for that's such a good supporter, you know, like such a good supporter. Like if they had a Karina for like water, like a Misty or something like water, like it'll be, like, it'll just make whatever water deck or whatever lightning deck so much better, you know. And last, arguably the most impactful, best card of the box of the set is N. So the treacherous N to 1, N to 2, late game N is back. I love and hate this card. I've lost games to this card and I won games to this card. I mean, the current format in standard now, I'm like, all right, if I'm rolling you, I'm killing you. I know, hey, you can't end me to 1, so I feel safe. At the same time, if you're beginning the game, and I'm like, holy crap, my hand is atrocious. Hope to God he ends me to better hand, you know. So that's all back now, you know. So
the mind game is back.
Yeah, we all know how good this card is. This card is gonna be played heavily in every deck, probably. At least one, probably like a Night March deck because I can hit so fast. But if like a slower deck, at least 2 or 3 in a deck.
Overall, it's just nice to have at least one in the deck because you always want to have a shuffle supporter. Shuffle supporter that you will make your opponent shuffle their hand.
Yeah, this pretty much, in my opinion at least, balances Shauna and Birch at the format.
I believe so too.
Yeah, and maybe even Judge. Judge is a good card, but I'd rather play N. I'd rather have an N in my deck. Like if I'm picking being Judge and N in my deck, I'll probably play N.
I definitely said N will get preferred most of the time over Judge.
Yeah, but Birch and Shauna are arguably like probably gonna get bounced now. I mean, so your 4 Birches going down in price. All right, now Franco has this stack of cards right here.
Okay, so here it goes. We got the Mega Catcher here. The Mega Catcher. Would it be useful? Not useful? Maybe not now at this moment, but as I said before in the video, if Mega becomes really big, it'll be very useful, and I feel like it's really good against, if you're playing a Mega deck, even like against Mega Mirror Match, and also seems like pretty useful. Definitely it's one of the cards I'll highlight as maybe a potential in the future. So
yeah, like maybe one day like it's all Mega Pokemon now, you know, but like if I ever somehow play a deck that pulls off this with that Umbreon EX that takes like 4 prizes off of EX, like I'll just go crazy. Like I'll just probably retire from Pokemon right there, you know. So cool artwork by the way. I love the rainbow in the background. It's pretty cool.
And I'll go with Genesect EX. Genesect EX is personally, honestly, I would say it's not so strong. But the reason why I kind of like this card is one, because it's he's attacked as 60 plus 15 if you have a stadium in play, which is 110. 110 is actually a really good number in terms of 2-shotting mega Pokemons, because a lot of the Mega Pokemon has 220 HP, so you can have that option. And the ability prevents minus 30 to all your Pokemon as long as it's he's active. And as most of you know, Fairy Pokemon plays generally Fairy Garden heavily, so you'll have a stadium most of the time. And you'll play Max Potion, so if they don't one-shot you, you can heal off. And 110 means if you're playing against any Dragon decks such as like Giratina and stuff, you can easily one-shot. Most of the Fairy decks we see nowadays, they played Mega Gardevoir, but I feel like Diancie is a decent attacker without having to Mega Evolve. So,
at least an option too, you know. Kind of low HP for the 150, but
he has the ability.
Steel is not really super prominent, so I mean, like your weakness is not that big.
It was an interesting card.
And resisted to Dark too, which is a pretty big deal.
Not the best, but it's interesting. I'll say.
I mean, it's there. It's definitely not, you know, a throwaway card like this.
And we'll go with Barbaracle.
I'm a pretty big fan of this card.
The ability basically allows you, if you have your own stadium in control, your opponent cannot play any special energies from their hand. This sounds really, really good considering Night March is a really big thing right now, and they all play DCEs in their hand. But some of the things we need to consider is Mew is becoming a thing. So some Night Marchers might play basic energy most likely in their decks. So I don't know how deep players go through.
We're not sure about that because it takes so much slots in the Night March deck to put basic energy in Mew.
Number 2, he is a stage 1. You can try to Archie, but
I mean, yeah,
it's still a lot of work.
Not too hard against
Yes, it's a lot of work to do for Archie, and on top of that, you need to maintain the board control with the stadium in order to have the ability to work. So
now, like right away, what I'm thinking of is like, all right, good against Samato Giratina. The thing about that, Samato Giratina, the current like deck list right now only play 1 to 2 stadium cards. So it could be kind of hard for them to hit into a stadium card unless they play like Skyla or something. So this could be really good against it.
Well, you have to remember, if Totina players plays their own stadium, or they don't even need to play a stadium. Let's just say, well, they do need to break your stadium first. But if they Chaos Wave first, then this card becomes useless.
Yeah, for sure.
So you need to remember that. And also another fact is he has 3 retreats, so if he gets a Lysander, it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, better have that Flowstone on it.
And the following card is the last recommendation. This is a pretty neat card. You can draw for each the basic Pokemon you have on their bench.
So like super watered down chorus. Like a super watered down chorus.
Yeah, it's a downgrade version.
A huge downgrade.
Yes, I would say it's not the strongest, but it is actually nice to have it in the format. Especially when basic becomes a thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like if this card came out, we'll be like, oh, it's a pretty good supporter. But the fact that it's coming out with N, it's like it's kind of getting overlooked a little bit because N is still better,
I personally like this.
Yeah.
I think I like this more than playing Tierna. Or some sort of support like that.
Yeah, like a deck, like a rampant event Tierna. Yeah, I agree.
Because if you're playing like decks like Totina, where they have to fill their benches or Night Marchers, there's actually a lot of decent amount of basic Pokemon like Shamans. They all count. It's not the best, but it is. I would say it's a draw supporter that has the potential.
Yeah, something different.
May not be the best right now, but it may be really good at some point.
I honestly would probably play one of this over like Shauna, in my opinion. I'm just not a big fan of Shauna.
Possibly. Yeah. And here's the Bronzong. As I said before, the main reason why I like it is because it prevents effects and damages on the bench. So not only direct damage to the bench, but it also prevents like spread damages, such as placing damage counters.
Mainly Trevenant, you're thinking of.
So as a Bronzong deck, I like it because Trevenant Break is a big thing.
Yeah. So I mean, like the thing is, like, what would be your balance of Metal Link's Bronzong and this Bronzong? You know what I mean?
I'll definitely say, I'll just run one of these as an option, and the rest are the Metal Links.
How awesome is the artwork though? The artwork
I like it.
Magnificent artwork.
And we'll go with Bent Spoon. Yes.
I think this should be a
Alakazam. Strong card.
I think it should be an Alakazam exclusive. Like, come on, like Bent Spoon is all about Alakazam. Why is this for any Pokemon?
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite cards. Basically, the tool does is it just prevents the effects of the attacks, but that's actually a pretty big deal considering you can attach to, let's say, Giratina or something.
Yeah.
So Stardust doesn't do anything to Giratina.
Yeah, definitely get a playset of this guy. I didn't even know this card existed until Franco was like, oh, I really like Bent Spoon in the deck. I'm like, what the heck is Bent Spoon? So I looked it up. I was like, oh wow, this is a very good card. So definitely get a playset of this at Pro Play Games.
Yes.
But definitely a card to have in your deck making box.
Another thing is since it prevents effects, it's very useful against cards like Mega Beedrill that is coming up soon, or even Toxic Croak EX because they can be poisoned. Yeah. So it's really powerful. So that's why it's one of my favorite cards.
It stops a Quickening Punch too, right?
Not a Quickening Punch.
No, okay.
Yeah, since the tool is attached and it prevents the effect on the Pokemon, Quickening Punch it's on the player.
Yeah, but still very strong card, especially the Giratina thing.
Okay, so now here it comes with the one card.
Alright, so Franco is going to shed some light on me because I'm like hardcore bashing this card, don't think it's that good, and Franco says it's a pretty good card, so here you go.
Yes, just like John says, it is a pretty good card. It's not like, whoa, it's a super devastating card. The main reason is the pressure ability, it does minus 20 to any damage done, which is nice, just like Raikou. Raikou is a strong. So basically, despite its 120 HP, it's pretty much, you can kind of say it's almost like 140 HP, if not slightly better. The attack, it does 60 plus 60 to an EX Pokemon. The main reason why is, if you do the math, 120 is a good number in terms of trying to two-shotting Mega, because it does 240 if you hit it twice. In Expanded, it's also strong because you can play such as Muscle Band, and you can Laser Bank, and you can pull 170. So it's very useful.
Hit certain EX Pokemon.
The fact that the energy requirement is 3, which 1 DC and 1 is pretty strong. If you have played like Max Elixir and stuff like that, it's pretty nice.
Now, what's the main weakness of the card?
His weakness, lightning weakness.
Exactly, lightning weakness. Meaning pretty much your Joltik weak.
The fighting resistance is nice.
Yeah.
But the big factor that makes it really nice is it does not one-shot on EX unless you play like lasers and stuff in Expanded. But even then, the fact that it's
one prize attack.
Yeah, it's a non-EX. So it is actually, when you pair it up against an EX, it actually becomes a really strong attack.
What do you feel about the break?
The break is okay.
Yeah,
it's not like the best thing.
It seems such high maintenance though. 4 energy, 150 discard 2.
Yeah, depends on what kind of deck you play with it. I think the break can be useful. Or it's just like an option to have to be able to one-shot things.
Yeah.
And also not just the attack, but you're also boosting its HP along with the ability.
Yeah, the ability,
I don't think it's too terrible.
Yeah, I mean...
it's okay.
I mean, now you said stuff like that, but I'm not throwing the break yet. This is me. I'm not throwing the break yet.
Yeah, non-EXs are pretty strong in this. And here's the second thing is Serperior and Serpine. It's a fun concept gimmick, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's
probably not going to be meta.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so too, but it is still pretty strong, I would say, and it's actually pretty gimmicky. I've seen a few decks in Japan played as well. Mainly, you know, the ability that every time you evolve into a Serpine, you get to flip a coin, and if it heads, you can paralyze them.
Yeah.
And the attack from Serperior, it's pretty strong in terms of the first one is 40 plus 60 the following turn, and the 80 you can't use it. But this deck has a real, because it's a grass type, you get a big synergy with the Forest of Giant Plant.
Yeah.
So as long as you hit the evolution lines, or you have a bunch of Snipeys, you can immediately evolve into a bunch of these.
Yeah, I mean,
and you can play cards like Super Scoop Up and the latest edition cards such as the Evolution. So you have like a different way to pick it up and evolve back again and put them in paralyzed and trying to hit it. Also, because it's a grass type, it's Seismitoad, so it's nice to have it because you can potentially one-shot if you have a Muscle Band or something like that. And yeah, overall, it's a very fun gimmicky concept of trying to paralyze the evolution, scoop up, pick it up, and evolve back again immediately on the same turn.
Yeah, definitely gimmicky, definitely rogue.
Yeah, it is
pretty rogue, you know.
Yeah. It has a fun potential and strength, so I like to point it out in the video for those who like Serperiors.
Yeah, rogue decks.
And we'll go with Lucario.
Yeah, Metal Lucario. Not fighting.
Yeah, what do you think about this card, John?
You know what? I honestly don't know too much about this card. I haven't read the card that much, and I just know the artwork, which I think is magnificent with the Alakazam. So I think it's a mega because the spoons are in the air, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what do you feel about this card?
It's an interesting card.
Stage 1, 2.
Yeah, his second attack is what people were discussing mostly. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but basically it says if you have a fewer Pokemon in play, for each Pokemon that you have fewer, his attack does 60 more.
Alright, so potential big swinger, you know?
Yes. So if your opponent has 2 more Pokemon in play than you do, you'll be hitting for 150.
Yeah, I mean, 150 is a nice number, but I don't know, it just seems too situational. Also, stage 1 had to run a 1-1 line in a certain deck, but to say it's a terrible card, that's not fair. It's not a terrible card, you know. I don't know. I don't think it's, you know, for all I know, in about a week we're gonna see a whole bunch of these pop up. We don't know, you know, but I just don't think it's like that great. Worth the talk, worth the talk. The weakness is non-relevant because fire's not really that super prominent.
Not at the moment.
Yeah, it's like Entei if you still play that, you know. So yeah, I mean, I think the bad card. I thought it'd be a little better if it was like a basic, of course.
Well, I think what you're thinking is pretty on point as well. I think pretty similar. I think the card is definitely It has a very good potential. It's pretty strong. However, because it's very situational. It requires you to have fewer Pokemon in play, so that could restrain your play.
And 2 slots in the deck.
And you need to attach 2 energy, 1 metal and 1 any deck.
So it's not like a DC or something,
yes.
you know?
Yeah.
It's like a double attachment or like a metal link at least.
A lot of people will say, oh, just play Bronzong with it. That way you can accelerate.
Yeah, but I mean,
you require to bench them as well.
Also, if you're in a Bronzong deck, most likely your bench is kind of full. Like you're gonna have like Aegis Slash, preferably multiple Bronzongs.
You can still get away with one Bronzong, worst case scenario, but just to give you a clearer picture, it's pretty similar to when you play against Zoroark. You know how when you play against Zoroark, you don't want to bench too many things? Same thing. If you see that Lucario, they need to have a fewer play than you do, so you just don't bench a lot and they won't hit you a lot too. So
I feel like I fear Zoroark way more than this though. I fear Zoroark.
Because he can stand in.
He can stand in for sure.
Yes. And the following card is Mandibuzz. I like this card.
This is all Franco. I don't know nothing about this card for sure.
Okay. Mandibuzz, his first attack is what makes it really good in my opinion. Basically, for any energy, this attack does 60 damage to any one of your opponent's Pokemon that has ability.
Okay, so I'm thinking I'm gonna snipe that little Shaman off the bench real quick.
Yeah.
110 HP. Okay, not great, not bad. Also stage 1. Doesn't help that the Pokemon is freaking ugly, because I think it's a terrible looking Pokemon. But I don't know. I mean, it seems like really, really good, right? I mean for certain situations, like it needs to have ability. That's one.
But the main reason why I like this card is the reason is it says it hits for 60 to a Pokemon that has ability, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What type is he?
Dark.
Okay. There's one card in the format that has an ability that is very weak to Dark.
Oh man, let me think of it real quick.
It's Trevenant.
Oh wow, so this guy. But do you think this would be like a tech in like a dark deck? You think?
It's just an optional fun tech. Yeah, it's not like a game-changing card.
Because it can stomp Trev, but I feel like dark decks kind of stomp Trev as it is.
Well, yeah, but the fact, like I said, because it's any energy, you can play in the deck that it's not dark as well. It's pretty flexible.
I see the potential there. Now, if it was like a basic, I'm like, holy crap, this card is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, if they made a fan maker stage 1, it is definitely a pretty cool card, pretty good ideas with it.
And you can also try to Lysander something and try to snipe Shamans and
it's
stuff
so funny, I couldn't get Trev when I freaking made that for a regional deck that lost to Dark like three rounds straight.
Overall, it wasn't like the best thing, but it was a fun card to point it out. And the next thing is, of course, the Marowak.
I think this card is so... I have people around me talking about this card like it's a deck by itself. Like that's how people are talking about this card. I just don't think it's... I think it's good. I mean, no, it's a good card, but I don't think it's like... I don't know. As different people around me, different people around Franco, and the people around me are just like overdoing this card like crazy. What do you feel about this card?
For me, I think the card is good as it's stated in the card.
By the way, the ability is Bodyguard. Prevent all effects of attacks done to you or your hand by your opponent's Pokemon. Remove any existing effects. So guess what that is, guys? Quaking Punch.
I just want to clarify the effects prevents to the player and not to the Pokemon. So I'm pretty sure effects that does done to the Pokemon.
Like Garantina was, but see, I mean, it's a little bit confusing because like the Garantina effect, you get to play the special energy from your hand. Right?
That's on the player, yes.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to clarify is basically like attacks like, oh, your Pokemon is paralyzed or poisoned. They still go through.
Yeah.
It just protects the player.
So, like,
any effects done to the player.
If Toxic Girl hits this, it's poison, you know? Yeah, so. Very cool artwork. I like the artwork.
Yeah. It's just, once again, it's a stage 1. It has 2 retreat. You need to devote a space. One
line at least.
1/1 is kind of risky sometimes. If it's prized, that could determine the game. I don't know if I wanted to say play 2/2. If you want to take a risk with 1/1, go for it. Another way is you can try to maxi it, but that's still another requirement that you need to do for it.
Yeah, that's still, you have to maxi hit a ball trick. You probably have a compressor engine in a way, and like.
Correct.
So Yeah, but it's not a bad card. Definitely not a bad card. Definitely in the better half of the
the
box.
One thing we're not trying to say the card is bad or it's mediocre or anything. The card is pretty strong. It's just in order to play. I believe in order to make this card really good or useful, you need to make certain sacrifice, and we need to be aware of that sacrifice.
All right, going on.
This card.
Oh man, so what I like with this card?
You know, there's really not much that I need to talk about this card. At first, I didn't like it too much, but then again, when I was thinking about it, it is a flip. It's very risky.
It's a porter.
It could be potentially useful in mill decks at some point.
Yeah, I mean it's an option for mill decks, but I just think it's so much better if two ways. One, it keeps its effect, but it's an item card. Okay. Two, there's no flips and it keeps a porter. You know, like this, like you can play this, flip 2 tails, which I have done many times. So you just wasted the porter at turn. You know,
I guess I flip more head than 2 heads.
I hit tails all the time. What I do like though, I love Team Rocket. I love the artwork. You know, Gen 1, Gen 2 type stuff. I love it. Definitely another option for a mill deck. I just don't think it's a great option.
Well, just like any other flip cards on high risk, high reward.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the worst part of this is a porter. That's the thing, you know, you can't play this hit tail to hit play Sycamore. Yeah,
and the fact that you need to flip twice, the odds are like okay, but let's just say most likely you're gonna aim for mill 2 cards.
Or like if it says something like if they change it, be like flip 2 coins, eat them our heads, mill 2 cards on top of it. You know, like something like that. You know, but I mean, you could get nothing off this card.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So, very high risk. And pretty good reward. You know, high risk though for sure.
So Genesect EX.
I thought this card was the artwork is magnificent. Like this
I love
such a beautiful full art. If you play Genesect, you play the full art Genesect for sure. Now, I thought this card. I was like, Franco, this card is not that great, man. Like they wasted Genesect. I love Genesect. They wasted them in this in this card. But Franco shed some light on me.
Yeah, I personally like this Genesect deck and Metal decks because it gives Bronzong decks an option as an alternative attackers because
a high attacker.
Yeah. If you notice, currently the most used EX attackers in Bronzong decks are usually the Zygarde EX and Aegislash EX.
And Aegislash, even though technically it is unlimited damage, you can have. You're never gonna get that much damage off of Aegislash. I mean, it's just way too much energy you're gonna attach to Aegislash.
Aegislash does, I believe, Aegislash does for 3 metals on Aegislash. It hits for 100, I believe. But this one does 100 plus and 20 more for each metal. So let's say if you have a muscle band and 3 metal energy, which isn't too difficult for a Bronzong deck, you're basically pulling 180 damage for knocking out an EX.
So like Bronzong Max Elixir, it could get powered no problem.
And also, the more you attach to it through metal links and stuff, you can even one-shot a Mega EX as well, which is nice. The ability is also very unique and useful.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think it could get abused.
Yeah. For example, let's say you start off with Genesect or something, and you want to switch or something. You can just attach a floatstone to him and then retreat and use the ability to put it back.
And take the floatstone out and put it on like your Bronzong
or also you can do like I said before, you can try to put muscle band, hit for 180, knock out. Something happens. You want to make your Genesect bulky, return the muscle band, attach Fury Belt instead.
So
it gives you options.
Is it the top 5 in the set, in your opinion?
Definitely, yeah. It's one of my favorite cards in the set.
And oh my god, how nice is the artwork, guys?
The art is sick.
So nice.
I like how it gives option to metal decks.
And I really like the ability. Like I think the ability can be really abused, especially with Floatstone. I can see it getting really abused. So I like it a lot. Franco changed my mind. I'm definitely gonna buy it for. I mean,
it
guys,
has resistance to psychic as well.
Guys, buy this for before I buy it on May 2nd. All right, it's gonna be on the site. Buy it before I buy it.
Yeah. And next, we're gonna quickly go through the obvious combo on the Carbink.
Oh man.
The Safeguard is nice. It's a good wall, as John says already before.
Off the bat, it's a stage. It's a basic.
Yes.
So this is a stage 1, guys.
Yeah, you can just bench it, Wally, and boom, you have it.
You had the card. Oh my god, this. I just think this card. I mean, I've been wrong before, but this card just seems so good as a Carbink break. So tell me what it does.
Basically, he attaches 2 energy from the discard to one of your fighting Pokemon on the bench.
Period.
Any
so
energy.
Strong
that means
energy.
Strong energy, double colors,
yeah,
rainbow energy, whatever you can think of.
Yeah. On top of that, the attack is 1 energy. So if it's like it's 20 damage, like I said, strong energy, muscle band, it could attack for like 80 damage and accelerate to any energy you want onto one of your Pokemon. Let's say you can Primal Groudon, or
Zygarde EX.
Zygarde, like it's just
you can battle compressor your strong energies and accelerate.
That's absolutely such a good card. I love the card, and his ability is read this again.
Protects,
Basic energy attached to your basic Pokemon and can't be discarded by effect of your opponent's attack, ability, or trainer card. So no, if you're running all basic energy, no crushing hammers, no Team Flare Grunt.
The nice thing I do like about this card is they protect your basic energy. It only has 1 retreat cost, and it doesn't have any other specific requirement. Therefore, you can tech into any other decks, not just fighting decks, if you're afraid of getting your basic energies getting removed from hammers and stuff.
Just imagine having one of these active. Like, let's say you have the safe card. You're just like attacking with just accelerating energy, and you're safe from EXs. Or this, your energy.
It gives you option.
I just think it's so good.
Definitely, this is one of the top 3 highlighted cards in the set.
I mean, the only thing that makes me upset is like I hate Carbink. Like they couldn't make it like something cool, Like I don't know, something not Carbink though. But
all right,
and what is?
And the final thing we'll be talking about is All-Star, the fossil Pokemon.
All the fossil stuff. All right, so let's talk about your favorite first.
My favorite. I actually like both of them equally, but if I had to choose one, I would say actually Aerodactyl.
That is really good attack.
Aerodactyl is my favorite.
I mean, before, let's say, 20 minutes ago, I didn't read the attack, and when I read it, I flipped it on Franco. Like, what the heck, man?
Yes.
What?
Well, let's go through, I guess, from Aerodactyl first.
First, how do you get it out? How do you get Aerodactyl out?
Alright, so the fossils are a little unique. You need to play these item cards. Basically, they need to be... Okay, when you play these items, you have to look through from the bottom of your 7 cards bottom from your deck. And if you find the corresponding ones, such as in this case, for example, for Helix Fossil, you need to find Omnite. And for Old Amber, you need to get Aerodactyl, sorry.
Yeah.
And place them.
Do you feel like there could be just a fossil deck?
Potentially.
Because then again, you can only run 4 of these in it. Of the
yes,
you
can still play both of them. Yeah. Considering we have this item where it says to put to any combination of Helix and what is it? Helix, Amber.
Any of them, the Kabuto one, the Omnite one, the
and Old
one,
Fossil, the first generation ones, So this is actually like your best friend for fossil decks because it puts 2 of these any combination from the discard pile into your hand. So let's say you can, you burn both of them, but you didn't find them. If you play this, you get another chance. These 3 has a good synergy in terms of you can search these through Skyla, Trainer's Mail, or you can even Battle Compressor, discard them, and play this and get it back into your hand.
Honestly, it seems like a very fun deck.
Yeah, it is a very fun gimmick.
Seems very fun.
It's one of my favorite gimmick.
Yeah.
Hit these, and they get, if you hit them, they get in play. And from here on for Omna, you have to evolve. It's quite a long way to go considering you have to hit it and then evolve it.
Aerodactyl seems pretty fast. Talk about Aerodactyl. Talk about Aerodactyl.
Alright, Aerodactyl is pretty simple. Non-EX, 120 HP, free retreat, resistance to fighting, -20, awesome. On top of that, his second attack, Jet Draft, for 1 DCE.
It's the 120 attack.
It hits for 120, and not only that, but it discards the special energy on the defending Pokemon if they do have one.
Like that's, I mean, that's a damn near perfect attack. Come on,
considering you just need to hit once.
Yeah, like this could come out turn 1, no problem. You know, get him out turn 1, and then attach DC and attack.
Potentially, unless you play this 3 times and you hit none.
Yeah, you know, but it's very doable. You know.
And yeah, the All-Star break, but you also have to remember that this All-Star, once during your turn, you may search for your deck for restored Pokemon, and pretty much restored Pokemons are the fossil, and
so like
put it
this.
into your bench.
So this, alright, so this takes them out right away.
Yeah, so once you hit this, you can immediately search the fossil Pokemon without having to hit these.
And this could be on your bench and you're doing it.
Correct.
Oh my god, see? And then what's the break do?
The break basically, once during turn, you can drag out an EX from the bench and make it inactive. So let's say they have a bench Shaman, and if you have Aerodactyl, you can start dragging out all the Shamans and one-shotting them with Aerodactyl.
Yeah, how fun did that sound? That sounds awesome.
It's it's a very fun gimmick. Definitely, I also like this card as well.
For sure. Yeah, it brings it back to your hand too, so it's like redo, you know, like redo it real quick so you can get it back, you know, so that's really cool.
Yeah, I want to say very good job on the staff member who designed this gimmick.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most interesting decks to come along, you know. So that was like, not the set review, but what we pulled review. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Once again, this is Franco Takahashi, and he'll be back with more videos, guys. So be sure to tune in, and thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, thank you.